Welcome to another episode of the States Up Podcast. I'm your host, Brain Freeman. Today we're talking Texas State men's basketball. The Bobcats have won 2 out of their last 3, coming off a big win Wednesday night over Georgia State with a big rematch coming up this weekend against Southern Miss. And one of the more exciting stories about this team has been the emergence of Mark Drone, who made his season debut last week at Troy. Big 17 points off the bench and a win for the Bobcats, and then went off for 30 against Southern Miss in the game after that. With that, let's bring him on now. Mark Drone is our guest on the States Up Podcast this week. Mark, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
Doing well, Mark. Glad to have you on. A junior from Jackson, Mississippi. You're a first-year transfer from Southwest Mississippi Community College. As I said, you finally made your season debut last week. You had to sit out the first 15 games of the year because of injury, but how did it feel to finally make that debut?
It felt great, just to be back out there with the team. I was telling those guys, I'll be a major part of this team, a key factor that we need. And it just been great being out there with those guys.
And how did it feel for you to be playing in front of family and friends as well? The chance to make your debut close to your hometown, how did that feel?
It was amazing. The support was everywhere throughout the gym. So it really felt like a home game for me as well. Because it was support everywhere, literally everywhere.
As I said, 17 points against Troy, the win in that game, and then you went off for 30 against Southern Miss in the game after. Take me back to that 30-point game against the Golden Eagles. How locked in were you that day?
It started early throughout the week, because I knew I was going home, and I knew my family was gonna be there, friends was gonna be there, so it was I felt like going out there, I just needed to be myself, honestly, and it was gonna show, work was gonna show.
What does it say, about the faith your coaches have in you to have the ball in your hands with the game on the line in both of those games last week?
It means a lot to me, honestly, for them to be able to trust me and trust in my decision making and that I make the right play for the team. It really means a lot to me, for real.
You came off the bench for those 2 games, but you made your first career start Wednesday in that win over Georgia State. How did it feel to get that first start?
It felt great, especially with the crowd. The energy throughout the gym was amazing. And for me to be able to start and feel that energy from the jump, it felt great. It was the spark we needed.
Yeah, 94-80 win, 94 points, an offensive explosion for the team on Wednesday. How significant was that win for you guys coming off that tough loss in overtime against Southern Miss?
It was a big win, honestly. We really needed it because we felt like how we played in that second half of Southern Miss game, we could do that from the jump and it'll be a way easier game. So Georgia State game, we came out with that mentality, we're coming out from the jump, we're not playing, and we just did what we had to do.
If you can, take me through the experience of what it's like playing for Coach Terrence Johnson. What's TJ like to play for?
He's a great coach. He's going to tell you the right things that you need, for life, for basketball. He's molding you to become a great man in life. It's he's a great dude to play for.
How close, Mark, is this team as a unit? How close have you gotten to the guys on this year's team?
I feel like I'm pretty close with anybody. Since I'm an easygoing dude, people on the team, they feel like they could just come and talk to me about anything. No matter what's going on, I feel like that I'm one of those guys that anybody on the team could come to talk to about anything.
Because of that, just how tough was it for you not being able to play those first 15 games?
It was very tough. That's why I had to help from the sideline as much as I could. I'm feeding it to those guys, everything that I could see on the court that could help them see it on the court. I'm feeding that into them so they could see what I'm seeing and be able to make the right decision.
So this is your first year at Texas State. You transferred again from Southwest Mississippi Community College. Take me back to your JUCO days. What was the experience like for you playing in junior college?
JUCO, like I can say that made me tougher because the conditions weren't so great, so you had to make the best out of what you had. So if it was going to the gym and having to get your own rebounds to like having to go get your own food because the Cal food was not it, like it made me the person I am today. Like I can honestly say like I'm grateful for the JUCO experience
So then, when you're making a decision to transfer out of junior college to play for a Division One program, why the decision to go to Texas State?
because I could say on my visit everything felt genuine from like the fans, the coaches, like it just felt real genuine. The love was there from everybody.
What was the recruitment experience like? Like, what were you able to get a chance to tour beyond the campus here? What else did you get to experience when getting to know the city of San Marcos?
Um, what we did do, like they showed me a lot of food places around. Like on my visit, I went to a lot of food places. Like I met up with people that they could say were like big fans of the teams on San Marcos. I met up with them, those guys. Like I did a lot. I enjoyed my experience here on my visit. Like me being able to experience San Marcos on my visit, that played a lot in my recruiting process.
Any favorite food place you had a chance to check out?
I could say my favorite food place is probably Dunn's, the Japanese kitchen spot.
Very nice. So I now want to take you back even further. We talked about your recruitment at Texas State, your days at JUCO, but let's go back even further to your childhood. When did you first start playing basketball, and where did your love of the game come from?
It started early. Like I was probably like 4 years old shooting inside of a garbage can. So like it started there, and then I had an older brother. He played D1 basketball, so they kind of pushed it too because I wanted to be like him in a way. And I felt like if I kept going, I'd be able to play D1 and do all the things he did plus more.
Yeah, yes, your older brother DeVille, who was a D1 player as well. You mentioned how much you looked up to him. How much did the two of you, compete against one another?
We played. I could say when I turned like 13, we started playing series against each other. But like he taught me everything from like when I was little. Like he showed me all the ropes of things to do, how to score, how to make passes and stuff like that. Like, so he was like teaching me things at an early age. But like me playing against him, that started a little bit older when I got a little bigger.
How influential have your parents been in your upbringing in basketball?
They played a big part. Like if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to play on AAU teams. Like they made sure I had the trips, had the newest shoes. They made sure I was prepared for anything when it came to basketball.
Looking at your education now at Texas State, what is it that you're studying here at Texas State University?
I'm in integrated studies with a minor in coaching, and like it's basically like athletic training in a way. So like I'll be able to be around basketball when I'm done.
So does that mean you want to get into training? You want to get into coaching? What is it that you would like to do once you're done playing?
Really training in a way because like I feel like I can teach kids the skill set that I have to make them even better. Like I really want to help people when I'm done, and I feel like that'll be the best way.
Bringing things back to this year's team, what is it going to take for the guys to compete for a conference championship this year? You're sitting at 3-3 in conference play, coming off the big win against Georgia State. You've won 2 of 3, so you're playing better as of late. But what is it going to take to contend for a championship?
We just have to stay connected. Like we have to stay locked in with each other within the locker room, keep competing, making each other better, and like it'll help us get far in the conference because like we know if we stay locked in and not worry about too much else that's going on and just stay within ourselves, we'll come out on top.
As you said, you gotten close to a lot of the guys, but give me some more insight a little bit. Like, who you got closest to on the team?
Um, I could probably say that I got the closest to Drew because like we can relate in many ways. We both point guards. We both like down from the south, so it's like we can relate in a lot of ways. This would make us get closer in a way.
Did you realize that Drew Drennan is the second oldest player in the nation, by the way?
Yeah, we be joking on them a lot about that. Like ever since we heard them say that, we be joking on them about it a lot.
Well, that again, Mark Drone, our guest in the States Up podcast. Mark, thank you so much for joining us, man. Congratulations on what has been a hot start for you, getting a couple of wins along the way, and looking forward to bigger and better things for you moving forward.
Thank you, and I appreciate you for having me on.
All right, that again, Mark Drone, our guest in the States podcast. He and the Bobcats have a big rematch against Southern Miss coming up Saturday at Strand Arena as they take on the Golden Eagles. Looking forward to a big game from Mark Drone then when the Bobcats take on Southern Miss. That's going to wrap up the States Up podcast for Mark Drone. I'm Brant Freeman, as always, reminding you to keep your states up, and we'll see you next time.